For this video, I'm going to show you how to assign formal charges for the following molecules. This will be the equation that we'll be using for this video. You may have a different formal charge equation, but this is the one I tend to like because it's quicker. We take the valence electrons of an atom, and then we'll subtract it by the non-bonding electrons around it and plus the number of bonds it forms. So let's look at number 1. First, we're going to look at this hydrogen. So hydrogen has a valence of 1, it has 1 valence electron because it's in group 1 of the periodic table. So it has no lone electrons, so we can say 0, plus the number of bonds it makes. It has a single bond right here, so that's 1, and that equals 0. The only reason why I'm doing 1 hydrogen atom is because these have all the same formal charge because they all only have single bonds. So each of these hydrogen has a 0 formal charge. So let's look at the oxygen. Oxygen is found in group 16 of the periodic table, so it has 6 valence electrons. It has 2 electrons, 1 lone pair, 2 lone electrons. Plus, how many bonds does it make? It makes 1, 2, 3 bonds. So it's 6 minus 5, and that equals 1, a positive 1. So we'll put a positive charge right here. Carbon has 4 valence electrons because it's found in group 14 of the periodic table. It does not have any lone electrons, so we can say 0. And it makes 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds. So 4 minus 4 is 0. So the only formal charge is on the oxygen, and it's a plus. Alright, let's look at number 2. Hydrogen, once again, is found in group 1, so has 1 valence, and has 0 lone electrons, there's no dots around it, and it makes 1 bond, so once again it has 0 because this only has a single bond right here, so these also have 0, these hydrogens. So let's look at these. Look at this carbon right here. So carbon is found in group 14, so 4 valence, subtract it by the lone electrons, which it doesn't have any dots, so we can say 0. And it forms 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4. A double bond is 2, and 2 singles, so that would be 4. So that would be 0, because 4 minus 0 plus 4 in parentheses would equal 0. Let's look at the oxygen now. It is found in group 16, so we can say 6 valence. How many lone electrons? We have 1, 2, so we have 2. Plus 1, 2, 3, because a double bond counts as 2, and we have a single bond, so single plus a double is 3. So 6 minus 5 is 1, and that's a positive. So we have a positive on this oxygen. Okay, moving to number 3. Hydrogen, once again, it's the same as this case, so we can just skip it. We'll say 0 because, once again, 1 minus 1 right here. So carbon is found in group 14, so 4 valence, minus, it has 1, 2 lone electrons, or 1 lone pair, so 2 lone electrons. And how many bonds does it form? It forms 1, 2, 3. So 4 minus 2 plus 3, so it's 4 minus 5, and that gives us a negative 1. So this carbon right here will have a negative charge. Okay, moving down. Alright, number 4. Once again, these hydrogens only have single bonds, so it is 0. So anytime you see this with a hydrogen, single bond attached to an atom, it's going to be 0 for the formal charge because it only has a single bond and no lone electrons. That's only for hydrogen right there. Nitrogen, let's look at this nitrogen. It is found in group 15, so it has 5 valence electrons, minus, how many non-bonding? There's no dots, so 0. Count the bonds, 1, 2, 3, 4, so 5 minus 4, which will give us 1, a positive 1. So this nitrogen has a positive charge. Let's look at this oxygen. The oxygen is found in what? Group 16, so 6 valence. So minus, how many lone electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Plus, how many bonds? 1, 2. So it'll be 6 minus 6, and that equals 0. So nitrogen has the positive charge in this molecule. Okay, Once again, skip these hydrogens because obviously they have 0 formal charge. Let's look at this oxygen, the top one. So oxygen is found in group 16, so 6 valence, minus how many non-bonding electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many bonds does it form? 1, 2. So that will be 0. Because 6 minus 4 plus 2 in parentheses is 6 minus 6, and that equals 0. Let's look at this oxygen. Like this one, it has 2 lone pairs and a single bond, so let's just skip that and say it's 0. Let's move to this last oxygen right here. So oxygen has 6 valence electrons, minus how many lone pairs? We have 2 lone pairs, but 1, 2, 3, 4 total lone electrons, so 4. Plus how many bonds does it make? It makes a double bond, so that counts as 2. So 6 minus 6, and that also equals 0. Let's look at boron. Boron is found in group 13, so it has 3 valence. We'll subtract that, and then how many lone electrons? 0. How many bonds does it form? 1, 2, 3, 4. So plus 4. And 3 minus 4 equals negative 1. So this boron has a negative charge. Alright, moving on to our last molecule. We'll just skip it again. Hydrogen has 0. Group 1, 1 bond, 1 minus 1. Okay, like this oxygen on this molecule, it's the same thing, so we'll just still do it. Oxygen is found in group 16, so 6 valence minus 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lone electrons plus 2 bonds. So that will be 6 minus 6, and that's 0. Nitrogen has 5 valence electrons and 1, 2 lone electrons, and then 1, 2 bonds. So 5 minus 2 plus 2 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1, so this nitrogen has a positive charge. So moving on to this last oxygen, but it's the same thing as this, so we can simply say 0. So I hope this video helped you. If you have any other questions, comment down below. And like this video if it helped you, and subscribe for more videos. Thank you.